everybody, and welcome to our 100 subscriber special. Today we're going to be doing a top 10 Fallout 4 mods, which is the pilot episode of our new series. So we will be doing more top 10 mods of different categories, but for today we're going to be looking at the top 10 mods of all time. No categories specifically. So when we're looking at these mods, I'm going to be taking three things into account. First is quantity, the amount of things we'll be getting with that mod. Two is quality, how well the mod is constructed. If it's a weapon or armor, that would be your mesh and texture. And finally, this isn't on most people's list, but for me, lore friendliness is a huge factor for when I add a mod to my load order, and that may be the case for some of you as well. I've been putting off recording this for a little bit because I have had a terrible toothache, and you might be able to hear a little bit of a lisp today, so sorry in advance, but let's get right into it. Keep in mind that these mods are not listed in any particular order. I just have them sort of categorized by what they do. So for starters, we're going to look at Bullet Time by Registrator 2000. This mod adds, of course, bullet time to the game. For those who don't know, that is a slow motion effect while you're shooting. So rather than VATS, you can choose to have essentially the effect of the jet drug, where it slows time to a degree of your choosing. If you would like, you can also hotkey this to your VATS key if you don't like VATS. In my case, I actually somehow broke VATS with my mods, so I use this as an alternative, and I prefer it because some people say that Fallout 4 is a better shooter than an RPG, and in some aspects I agree with that. And I think bullet time just makes more sense for Fallout 4 than VATS does. Now, bullet time also has an MCM menu. As you can see, you can choose your own hotkey. I have mine set to the original VATS key. You can choose the time dilation factor from somewhat slow, which is 70%, all the way to extra slow, which is 4%, as slow as VATS moves, which is quite a bit, and default is 30. You can change the AP cost, the visual effect option. You can have a no visual effect, VATS, or jet. And finally, sound effect on or off. Moving on to our next mod, we have Uiniques by Trainwiz. Now, if you're like me, you're pretty upset with the unique weapons of Fallout 4. All they do is take a weapon and add a unique name and a generic legendary effect, and, well, that's just not a unique weapon. Take the weapons from Fallout New Vegas, for example. When you found a unique weapon, it looked different and behaved differently from the normal version of that weapon, and that's what this mod does for you. So let's take a look at a couple of these weapons here to show you exactly what I mean. Let's take Big Boy, for example. Instead of a generic legendary effect, it now has projectiles leave behind a heavy field of radiation and fire. And as you can see, this looks a little bit different from the normal Fat Man. It has a custom projectile right there with a little atomic symbol to represent it. And most of these weapons are pretty lore friendly to their name and to their effect. Their unique custom effect, the visuals actually match pretty well. For example, Death from Above. Projectiles have a larger blast radius and damage, but now they arc instead of flying forward. I'm pretty sure there was a missile launcher like that in Fallout 3. And you can see there's a custom attachment here, not found on any other missile launcher. Now, with the way these attachments work, this legendary effect is actually part of the attachment itself. You'll see right here is delayed launcher. So if you find a legendary missile launcher that you like more, for example one that does 50% more damage to humans, you can actually take this attachment off and put it on the new legendary missile launcher and stack both effects, which makes this a very versatile and useful mod. So because of the way they spawn in as modifications, for this mod to take effect, you actually need to start a new game to be able to spawn in the weapons properly with the mods attached. And if you do it correctly, if you walk over to a vendor like Trudy here, you'll see that General Chow's Revenge has the new modification on it and the correct effect. Robots killed with this weapon explode violently. And it has the overloading blade attached. Let's take a look at a couple more unique weapons before we move on. overall, I think this is a great addition to anybody's load order, and there's no reason not to play with it. It just makes the base weapons in the game look so much better and behave differently. And there's plenty more weapons that I haven't even shown here. So download it yourself and take a look at some of these really, really cool unique weapons. Alright, so moving on to the next mod, we have New Vegas Uiniques by Captain-Ultima. What this does is adds even more unique weapons to the game, so if Unique Uiniques wasn't enough for you, this adds almost every weapon from Fallout New Vegas into the game in the form of their unique variety. So, when you first load up the game, you're going to be greeted with a ton of new quests. You'll see right here, Rook's Secret Stash has Find Paciencia, and then a ton more new quests. Let's start with this one here, Got Spurtle Wood, Investigate Jalbert Brothers Disposal. When you go to pick up these weapons, they will usually be on either a new custom enemy or inside of a container. They're short quests, but there's a lot of them, so have fun collecting them all. Alright, so as you see, we have a new custom enemy. So there we go. We found the Spurtlewood 9700 Fallout New Vegas Unique. And you can also see here that there is a custom enemy carrying this weapon, the Y-17 Trauma Override Harness, which is an enemy from Fallout New Vegas's Old World Blues DLC. Alright guys, the next mod we have today is the Service Rifle by Deadpool 2099. Now I know there's a lot of service rifle mods out there, but this one is my personal favorite. So this mod adds a ton of customization options to the service rifle. You can have anything from your standard Fallout New Vegas service rifle to the Assault Carbine or the Marksman Carbine from New Vegas, but also even your own wild and wacky creations like a makeshift 9mm service rifle or a drum mag LMG or even a marksman's type sniper rifle. This mod just gives you so many choices, and it is a beautiful mesh and texture, has great animations. There are also a myriad of unique versions of this weapon. When you load up the game, you'll be greeted with this quest: loot, pick, and 6 smoking barrels. Find the postman body. When you finally find the postman's body, you'll see there are a bunch of little location notes here. So let's grab all of those. And a detective's letter. When you read the detective's letter, you'll see that this is a note to a collector, telling them that there are a bunch of unique service rifles hidden throughout the Commonwealth, and attached are photos of their locations. So when you take a look at these locations, all it includes is the name of the weapon, and a picture of where it is, not an actual name of the location. So you're going to have to do some searching for these. But there are some clues on the back that might give you a little bit of a hint. So let's take a look at a couple of these. We have the Accelerator, the All-American, which is from New Vegas, Adam's Glory, Lovemaker, Patriot, and the Survivalist Rifle, which is also from New Vegas. So all of these weapons are hidden. I don't believe any of them are on enemies. You just kind of have to find them. But then again, maybe I'm wrong. Looks like this guy actually has one of these rifles right here.
There we go.
So all of these rifles are super unique. They have custom attachments. I especially like the touch of how this weapon looks like it actually functions correctly. When you reload, the battery actually clicks into place right there. It's really, really cool. And there's 5 more of these unique weapons. I won't spoil them. If you want to see them, you're going to have to try them out for yourself. The link will be in the description if you want to check it out. Up next on the list, we have the Russian Assault Pack by NovaFinch. This mod adds a bushel of Russian weapons to the game. Now, I know that one of my criteria is lore friendliness, and to counter that, I will say that this game takes place in America, and we have avid gun collectors here, most of which love the AK platform. With this mod, you will get the Stechkin automatic pistol, the MP412 Rex revolver, the PP Bison submachine gun, the Sega 12 semi-automatic shotgun, and finally the SVD Dragunov sniper rifle. Now, I've chosen this pack because of the sheer amount of weapons you get and the quality of each of them. And also, I've seen no mod that adds each of these weapons individually. So you're getting a really good bang for your buck here. You're getting a bunch of unique weapons that can't be found in other mods, and you're getting them all wrapped together with similar modifications. These weapons are also added to the level list, so you'll be able to find these on raiders, gunners, and vendors. These weapons are also heavily customizable with a ton of different mods. You can even turn the SVD into a very AS-Val looking rifle, which is incredible. You can transform most of these weapons, in fact, into something else, like taking the Sega and turning it into a very modern tactical rifle. Also included in the Russian Assault Pack is this Spetsnaz Special Forces uniform, which can be crafted at any chemistry station. Up next is Armorsmith Extended by Gambit77. Now this mod accomplishes so many things. First of all, every outfit now can be worn underneath armor pieces, so you can have combat armor over your clean room suit if that's what your heart desires. Additionally, any hat or helmet in the game that doesn't cover your face can be worn with a gas mask, and every armor in the game can now have ballistic weave added onto it. There are now new color swap options for your armors, so you can still have a polymer, say, armor plating and change the color to shadowed on this combat helmet. You can now also modify and rename any armor, including ones that couldn't be renamed before. You can now change combat armor from light, heavy, and medium. The same is true for leather, metal, and raider armor. And finally, it adds all new workshop crafting stations for a variety of modding resources. This is the power armor station, the ammo crafting stations, the armor smith where you can craft all of the armors in the game, the decal station where you can add decals to your armors, the electronics station, the explosive station for crafting explosives if your mod supports that, the paint mixing station for power armor paint crafting, the utility crafting station, another modder's resource, and the weaponsmith station where you can craft every weapon in the game. Now if you check out the armorsmith station, you'll see there's actually new accessories you couldn't have before, like necklaces, scarves, as well as gloves and rings. And you can also craft some armors that you couldn't normally find in the game. For example, this bandolier. And in the weaponsmith menu, you'll see that you can actually craft guns for your back and hip using the vanilla weapons, as well as melee weapons, jetpacks, harnesses, and any modded weapons that are supported with this mod can be crafted at this station as well. Up next, we have the Militarized Minutemen armor by corvalho. Now there's a lot of cool faction armors in this game, but the Militarized Minutemen is my favorite. This armor is super customizable, and you can even add patches for different factions that you're a part of, as well as change the color of the uniform to match the faction of your choosing. This mod includes a uniform, radio communicator, helmet, gloves, as well as a gas mask, hat, glasses, hood, and several types of scarves. This armor is added to the level list and can be found on any Minutemen you encounter. Alright guys, up next we have kind of a two-part mod. The first mod is the Gunner Outfit Pack by DefaltTheFixer, and the additional mod is the Gunner Outfit Pack Level List Patch by Creodron. Now the first mod is going to add the armors that you see here. This adds hundreds of possible combinations of armors to the game for the Gunners faction. These are all Nifscope armors using in-game assets that have been retextured or combined to make all new armor sets. Now the second mod adds these armors to the level list, as well as creates new gunner classes that will wear these armors. Some of these classes are armor specific, like the Gunner Marksman, or the Gunner Pilot, or Gunner Medic. There are also different ranks for each armor, so that every gunner you encounter should look pretty different from the last. Moving on to our first settlement mod of this video, we have my favorite workshop mod, which is Workshop Rearrange. Now, that's not something I can just show you in a menu here, like Snappy Builds or Thematic and Practical, because Workshop Rearrange actually does exactly what it sounds like, and rearranges your entire workshop into categories that make more sense, as well as add completely new categories and different items. So if we head into structures here, you'll see that when we go to, let's say, concrete, there are a ton of new textures of concrete to have. You go to painted, there's even more options inside of that. So this keeps a very vanilla feeling to the game, but just adds a ton more options. The same is true for barn. If we head to the walls, we have red, unpainted, green, and white now instead of just the red walls. There are support options and structure items, as well as miscellaneous things like railings, bridges, wall boards to cover your windows, ceiling boards, floorboards, and wall planks to cover up little pieces of windows. This mod just adds so many options to the game, and all of them are very vanilla based and fit perfectly in the world. Up next we have the Grenade Expansion Pack by Sean S. This does a couple of things. First of all, it adds a new grenade launcher to the game, similar to the grenade rifle from Fallout New Vegas. However, it also adds tons of new explosive items to the game. Now, if you have Armorsmith Extended, all of these can be crafted here at the Weaponsmith workbench. Otherwise, they'll be crafted at the chemistry station. So if we head down, there's a ton of new grenade options here. We have chemical grenades. As you can see, we have different types of toxins and gases. We have cluster grenades, which are grenades that explode into even more little grenades, kind of like the Merv attachment for the Fat Man. We have contact grenades that explode the second they hit something. We have darts, which can inflict things much like the syringer and stick to enemies. There's timed explosives, which would be your traditional grenade. There are also several types of mines. We have charged mines, which have to be exploded with a detonator. Disguised mines that enemies will walk over and not realize that it's a mine. As well as traditional mines, including a dirty water mine, which it floats on the water if you're being chased by, I don't know, a mirelurk or something. And there's also a charged detonator. Now, another neat thing is all of these can be turned into sabos, which can be loaded into the grenade launcher that I showed you earlier. Now it shoots cryo grenades. Oh, what's that? I guess we have an 11th bonus mod. That's right, guys, I couldn't fit 10 on the list because this mod is just something I wanted to spread to people. It's just too good to have if you're a settlement builder, and that is Faster Workshop by Registrator 2000. That's a very simple, quick mod, and all it does is this. Yeah, you've never seen a workshop load so fast, and you can hotkey it to a button instead of having to wait and hold down any key. You can just hook it like I have it on my mouse 4 button, and there it is. And you can just do that over and over again, instantly. Sometimes I just do this for fun. Just because it's so fast and easy. Alright guys, and that brings this video to a close. I just want to say thank you so much. We're at 100 subs. I can't believe it. I mean, we're at even more by the time this goes up. This took a little bit of a while to record and edit, and I've not been feeling well. And Christmas, you know, it's just crazy. It's a crazy time. But I couldn't have asked for a better Christmas present. And I hope you enjoyed the video. As always, all the links to the mods shown will be in the description. If you enjoyed the video, drop a like, and if you want to see more, subscribe if you're not already. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.